up on Fulton Today, what you need to know now about voting in the May 24th primary election. And we'll look at some of the legislation that's made it through the Georgia General Assembly so far. Fulton Today starts right now. Welcome to Fulton Today, everybody. I'm Shania Chavis-Rucker. With the presidential primary election now behind us, Fulton's election team is now focusing on the May 24th primary election. Now, this election has all of the county and local and state races on the ballot. Dwight Brower is Fulton's elections chief. Sir, welcome back to Fulton Today.
Thanks for having me.
So first things first, let's tell everybody about when they need to register to be able to vote in the May 24th election.
The deadline to vote in the May 24th primary is April 26th. Citizens may register to vote online. They may obtain an application at any of Fulton County's public libraries, fire station, or they may go to either of the government annexes to register.
And Dwight, if you're a first-time voter, what's the process to register?
You will complete a voter registration application, completing all information. You will drop it in the mail or deliver it to Fulton County Government Center, one of the other government annexes. We would take that application, process the data, and then you will be mailed a voter registration card detailing your polling location and the address thereof.
And what about early voting for the May 24th election?
Yes, there will be early voting for the May 24th primary. We will have 24 early voting locations. The dates and times are the first 2 weeks. We will have early voting during the hours of 8 o'clock a.m. to 5:30 p.m. On Saturday and Sundays, we will actually have early voting on the 7th and 8th of May, as well as the 14th and 15th of May. And the dates and times of those early voting locations will actually be posted on our web at www.fultoncountyga.gov.
And remind everyone what they'll need to bring with them on Election Day.
During early voting, citizen voters need to know that they can have the option of going to either one of the 24 early voting locations, and they must have one of the 6 forms of ID. On Election Day, citizen voters need to know and understand that they must go to their assigned polling place. Again, they must have one of the 6 forms of identification.
And finally, before you go, Dwight, there was a little bit of confusion for some of the county voters during the presidential primary. Talk to us about that and how we intend to address it for the next election.
We're finding that some of our voters are still not sure of their polling location or their poll designation. What we like to do is to encourage voters to come out and vote early, first of all, and that precludes you from having to worry about where your voting location is. Secondly, we ask voters to go online. We have a poll location option there where a voter can put in his or her personal information or street address, and it will tell them precisely where their polling location is.
All right, Dwight Brower, Fulton County's elections chief, always great information. Thank you for your time.
Thanks again for having me.
Now, if you have questions about voter registration or polling locations, contact the Registration and Elections Office at 404-612-7020 or visit fultonelections.com. Next week marks the final week of the 2016 Georgia General Assembly, and while some of the county's agenda did not advance this session, there are some priorities that actually have moved forward. FGTV's Priscilla Ortega has been covering all things at the state capitol this session. Priscilla?
Some of the Board of Commissioners' legislative priorities are making progress, including House Bill 885, which changes the structure of the Health Department, and Senate Bill 274, which modifies the county's fiscal year. Lawmakers also heard another proposal presented by Fulton's youth commissioners, and this bill is getting a lot of attention.
First step is raising the dropout age.
With legislators as their audience, Fulton's youth commissioners made their case to increase Georgia's minimum dropout age from 16 to 17.
We see that when these kids drop out, they go out into the community unaccounted for. Getting an education is not only important for your personal life, but also for setting a stable future and becoming a contributing member of society.
The high school-aged youth commissioners supported their stance with several pages of research. That research says raising the dropout age to 17 would lower crime and the unemployment rate. The House Education Committee said they were impressed.
I would say in my 10 years down here, I'm not sure if I've heard a bill better defended than it was by these young high school participants in the program. So I wish I'd known about this program a while back.
It's kind of hard to see the impact when you're just constantly working on like research and paper, but when you like really see and like talk to the people who would be kind of enforcing it and helping carry this bill all the way through, it's a completely different experience, and it feels really good to know that we kind of have some support now.
While the House committee didn't vote on the proposal, lawmakers have named the bill House Bill 1078. The Fulton Youth Commissioner Coordinator says this proposal is something youth commissioners have been working on for 3 years. The bill will likely not pass this session, as lawmakers say it will take some time to develop. Reporting from the state capitol, I'm Priscilla Ortega for FGTV.
Thank you very much. Well, we have good news for housing development agencies and nonprofit organizations. Fulton's Department of Housing and Community Development has thousands of dollars in federal funds for affordable housing development. Now, these funds are part of the government's Home Investment Partnership Program.
Fulton County has recently released a notice of funding availability for $265,000 plus for eligible qualified entities who have a shovel-ready project to be able to do affordable housing.
Several preparatory workshops were held earlier this month for interested parties. Completed proposals for the programs are due by March 31st. Now, you can contact Lolita Collins if you have questions about the application process. Her email address is listed right there on your screen. Looking for job opportunities in the restaurant industry? Well, Fulton County may be able to help. The Workforce Development Team is hosting a recruitment drive for a Georgia-based restaurant chain and offers this advice for applicants.
Preparation, preparation, preparation. Anyone who is looking to apply for any of the positions that we make available through Fulton County Workforce, we ask that you prepare by researching the company, the positions that they're offering. Make sure that your resume is up to date.
Zaxby's is looking for crew members and future managers, and Fulton County wants to help them find the workers.
Currently, I'm hiring personally for the location I run, which is the South Fulton location. But in addition to that, we have 7 locations throughout from Cobb County to South Fulton. We're hiring for all of those.
The application process went really well. My interviewer, she was really, really nice. She was energetic and absolutely loved the entire process.
In addition to hosting job fairs, the Office of Workforce Development offers job training services and resume workshops year-round. To find out about the next job opportunity, you can contact the Office of Workforce Development. And congratulations go out to one of the county's own. The Fulton Industrial Boulevard Community Improvement District honors Police Sergeant Robert Burkhart for his role in keeping the area safe.
Well, Sergeant Burkhart goes far beyond the call of duty. He takes a personal interest in bringing law and order to the boulevard.
Similar comments were made by Police Chief Gary Stiles, who talked about Sergeant Burkhart's personal mission to make the boulevard drug-free.
We decided that we needed to present Frank with his own commercial drug-free sign that is signed by everybody who knows how much hard work that it took to get this done. So on behalf of the CID board as well as the Fulton County Police Department, I hope you would accept this and post it in a prominent place.
With great pride.
District Attorney Paul Howard, Community Court Director Tangi Johnson, and the CID Public Safety Manager were all on hand to congratulate Officer Burkhart, who in turn thanked them.
I couldn't have gotten this without Tangi and her crew and Frank Mazzelli helping out. They work so much harder than I do, and the support of Chief Stiles in my department and Mr. Howard and his office. We're a good team. We're working together, and it's looking better out there. It's getting better all the time. Thank you all for this.
Sergeant Burkhart has been with the Fulton County Police Department for 17 years. Fulton officials have pledged to restore the FIB corridor to once again make it part of the county's economic engine. And still to come, want to get a jump start on that spring cleaning? We'll tell you how you can do it for free in our district by district coverage next. Fulton County helps residents with their spring cleaning for free, and teens will soon gather for the second annual Don't Touch the Fire conference to help keep them out of trouble. Here's this week's district by district coverage. We begin with Fulton's chairman, who wants to ensure a smooth voting process for the next election in May. The District 7 at-large commissioner, John Eves, says though his election day experience for the presidential primary was smooth, he knows that some residents had challenges with new voting locations and a few machines. The chairman wants to make sure that the communication increases to voters for the primary in May. He says this local race is just as important as the presidential primary.
Well, the electoral process, voting is very important. It's a fundamental right that people have, and they should take advantage of it.
Again, the primary for county and state races is May 24th. You can visit the elections website for more information. Fulton leaders prepared to host the second annual Don't Touch the Fire conference following last year's huge success. Like in 2015, hundreds of young residents have been invited to the conference hosted by District 6 Commissioner Joan Garner. Fulton's Children and Youth team says this year's event will be even more engaging than last.
In the past 2 years, we really focused on not getting involved in criminal behaviors, and this year we're going to focus more on what you can do, the things that are available to you, the things that will make you successful, the things that will move you forward, and so that's what we're looking for this year.
The Don't Touch the Fire conference will be held at the Sheraton Hotel on March 25th from 8:30 to 4 p.m. You can contact the Office of Children and Youth to get additional details. South Fulton residents get ready to do some spring cleaning. The county's bulky trash amnesty day is fast approaching. The Merck Miles transfer station is just one of the locations where residents can soon dispose of their unwanted items for free. It's a day that many residents look forward to.
Well, I think it's a good thing because a lot of things people can get rid of that they normally would have to hire somebody to do it.
The first Amnesty Day will be April 16th from 8 a.m. till 2 p.m. at the Merck Road Transfer Station, Creel Park, and the South Fulton Service Center on Stonewall Tell Road. Construction waste, yard waste, and demolition debris will not be accepted. And finally, in District 6, the positive feedback is still coming in concerning the first District 6 Task Force on Children and Youth. As we shared, Commissioner Emma I. Darnell hosted the forum to hear firsthand from residents and stakeholders about how the youth and young adults can be best served.
When we were holding meetings on public safety, before we could adjourn, somebody would always say, Emma, what are you going to do? What are we going to do about these children? So we got the message.
I'm very concerned about where our youth, not only where they are right now, but where they're headed, because I feel as though that's the primary impact of where our future is.
Representatives from Aging and Youth Services, the Juvenile Court System, Fulton County Police, and other agencies presented several new programs and initiatives designed to curb truancy. Dr. John Thompson, Fulton's Director of Aging and Youth, spoke to residents about the Cradle to Career program, and Captain Sheila Thomas informed citizens of the reactivation of the Fulton County Police Department's truancy program. Several nonprofit organizations participated, including the South Fulton Arrow Youth Council that services the youth in our community.
I came out tonight and I brought a group of my students, which we call Arrows, so that they could learn that there is a community, a village that cares about their lives as young people. And so collectively we all came together as a village tonight to begin the process of a socio-economic redesign.
The commissioner is already planning her next session. Stay tuned to FGTV to hear when it will be scheduled. And when we come back, the importance of what you eat and where you eat it. Stay with us. The health department's newly launched HIV PrEP clinic is getting more and more clients. Now, this initiative was one that the county started to address the high rate of HIV and AIDS in the metro area. FGTV's Lynn Vaughn has our story about the program's progress.
Awareness of Fulton Health's HIV PrEP clinic is quickly spreading.
Having PrEP available, especially at a health department, is truly groundbreaking.
PrEP, or pre-exposure prophylaxis, is a highly effective one-pill-a-day strategy to keep persons in certain high-risk groups from contracting HIV.
So what does the ideal candidate look like? Their partner is HIV positive. Of course, they have to be negative. They identify as being an MSM, which is the acronym for men who have sex with men. They would be an injection drug user. They have an extensive history of sexually transmitted infections. And they've also received numerous prescriptions for PEP, which is the post-exposure prophylaxis.
Located in the Aldridge Health Center in downtown Atlanta, the clinic opened officially in February. Since then, dozens of people have been referred and enrolled. Patients who qualify receive their lab tests, the medication, and the required follow-up visits free of charge.
We've been very fortunate that everyone who has had a desire, interest in the PrEP clinic has qualified for support.
The health department also continues to increase HIV testing. This year, the county plans to conduct 100,000 HIV tests and link 85% of the people who test positive to treatment within days. For more information on the HIV PrEP clinic, call 404-613-4708. Reporting for FGTV, I'm Lynn Vaughn.
Thanks very much, Lynn. As we dig into National Nutrition Month, health experts want to make sure that you savor your food. Oftentimes, people eat while watching television or eat in a hurry, so the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics is urging people to relish the flavor of eating right. The director of Cooperative Extension says taking time to enjoy a healthy meal is important.
It is so important to savor the flavor. There are so many different ways that you can eat healthy, and one is using herbs and seasonings instead of salt and sugar in your foods.
Half of your plate should consist of fruit and vegetables. For information and tips on healthy eating, you can go to letsmove.gov. A new fitness program specifically for people who are visually impaired is gaining popularity. The program involves Zumba, dance moves, and music the participants enjoy. The instructor uses verbal descriptive instructions and explains dance moves ahead of time. The program is geared toward people who are visually impaired, whether they read Braille or not.
I had them to pretend as if they were standing on the Braille cell and then going in the direction of the numbers. But since that time, I came to realize that as I've been doing it now for a while, I've come to realize not everyone that's visually impaired reads Braille. So it's evolved past that.
Most time we have somebody there to help us out to keep us in line, but most of the time I just tell them to keep moving, and we listen to directions. The ones who cannot see at all, we give them good directions to go right or left, step forward or raise a hand above their head or in front of them. I can see some, so I know a lot of the movements.
Wells says the dance moves don't need to be perfect. The idea is to get participants moving and improving coordination. Dawn Wells hosts the program at the Central Library in downtown Atlanta on the first Saturday of the month. You can get more information by calling 404-730-1700. And when we come back, we'll help to celebrate the birthday of a famous author. Stay with us. Looking for something for your kids to do during spring break? Well, the Arts and Culture Department may have an idea. Registration is underway for the South Fulton Arts Center's Spring Break Camp. The camp is for children ages 5 to 12. Camp instructors will incorporate visual arts, dance, music, and theater into their daily activities.
We are going to have a lot of fun. They will learn a lot in the different art disciplines, but we have a great staff, we have great energy, and I think they'll definitely enjoy themselves as in years past.
Parents who have students on a free or reduced lunch program should include that information on their registration form. The camp is from April 4th to April 8th from 8:30 a.m. until 5:30 p.m. Go to fultonarts.org to learn more. And finally, children dress up to celebrate the birthday of a literary author that transcends generations. In honor of what would have been Dr. Seuss's 112th birthday, several library branches held celebrations and special story times. Children at the Buckhead Library wore red and white hats similar to the one in the Cat in the Hat story. Library employees read several Dr. Seuss books to the children, including the very popular Green Eggs and Ham.
When you introduce children to reading, that's a lifelong journey. So it's an opportunity to allow them to explore the world through reading and understand the importance of reading. That's how you get an understanding of what's happening in the world.
Librarians say Dr. Seuss's books are enjoyed for generations because of the colorful stories, characters, and silly rhymes. Gotta love Dr. Seuss. Well, before we go, our reminder that we'd like to connect with you online. Check us out on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and of course, watch us anytime on our YouTube channel. Well, that does it for this edition of Fulton Today. I'm Shania Chavis-Rucker. Thank you so much for watching. Join us each week for news around and about Fulton County.